Moin, meine lieben Bitcoin-Freunde, Alex hier wieder. So, Neues zum Thema Yieldnodes. Ja, da ist natürlich jede Menge gerade im Busch. So, also wie gesagt, wer die E-Mails gelesen hat, da gibt es ja auch schon wieder die ersten Scammer drauf, also die beschreien, das ist alles Scam und so weiter und so fort. Aber wie gesagt, gestern kamen da E-Mails rum, hey, wir haben Probleme, Binance hat die Konten gesperrt und so weiter. Und wie gesagt, wer die E-Mails gelesen hat, der weiß, was Sache ist. Es wurde ja gestern Abend noch auf die Schnelle ein Interview gemacht mit Stefan Hörmann und dem Liam aus UK. Das gibt es jetzt hier direkt im Anschluss. Also bleib auf jeden Fall dran. Dieses Video ist ein bisschen länger. Ja, also jetzt kommen meine Vorworte, dann kommt das Interview und dann kommt nochmal mein Nachsatz hinten dran, was ich dazu sage. Also wie gesagt, viele schreien jetzt schon rum, alles Scam, bla bla und so weiter. Und die verpissen sich mit der Kohle und so weiter. Ich kriege ja auch schon Zuschriften und so weiter. Also, Moment mal, stopp. Könnt ihr euch drin erinnern? Das Ding hier, das haben wir alle unterschrieben. 4 Seiten. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unterschrift 2020 von mir. Das Ding haben wir alle unterschrieben. Das ist eine Risk Disclosure Policy. Das sind die Risikobedingungen. Da steht drinne, das Ding kann platt sein. Das Ding kann von heute auf morgen nicht funktionieren aufgrund irgendwelcher Gegebenheiten. So, mal ganz ehrlich, dieses Jahr sind schon jede Menge Unternehmen weg vom Fenster. Celsius, Nuri ist pleite gegangen. Masternode Pool GetNode musste die Segel streichen, weil die Märkte nicht mehr funktionierten. Jetzt mal ganz ehrlich, wir haben da draußen Wirtschaftskrise, Klimakrise, Inflationskrise, was weiß ich, Krise, keine Ahnung, was alles für eine Krise. Und Yieldnodes soll jetzt ausgerechnet das Unternehmen sein, was super gut läuft? Halte ich für ein Gerücht. Also meine Kryptogeschichten mache ich ja auch nur nebenbei. Ja, ich habe ja einen Hauptjob. Und auch in meinem Hauptjob bin ich betroffen von der ganzen Wirtschaftskrise, von den Zinsentwicklungen, von der Inflation. Auch bei mir in meinem Hauptjob brechen mir die Umsätze weg. Und ausgerechnet Yieldnodes ist jetzt ein Scam, weil es denen nicht gut geht, weil die auch Probleme mit der Marktlage haben, mit den wegbrechenden Märkten, dass keiner mehr die Masternode-Coins kauft, etc. Keine Ahnung. Also derjenige, der da draußen jetzt rumschreit, das ist alles ein Scam und Exit und die verpissen sich mit unserer Kohle. Hallo, guck doch mal da draußen raus aus dem Fenster, was da los ist. Die Leute können ihre Heizkosten nicht mehr bezahlen, die Säue da draußen. Ich meine, mir geht es noch relativ gut. Ich kriege das auch überall mit im Freundeskreis. Also überall ist die Hölle los. Aber Yieldnodes macht einen Exit-Scam. Jo. Nee, glaube ich nicht dran. Also jetzt mal wieder Butter bei den Fische. Also, nee, glaube ich nicht dran. Also ich habe mich zu sehr mit den Themen beschäftigt, mit Yieldnodes. Aber was soll's. Darüber reden wir am besten hinterher noch mal. Jetzt schauen wir uns erstmal das Interview an. Los geht's, das Interview mit Liam und Stefan Hörmann von gestern Abend. Stopp, noch eine ganz kurze Info. Einen ausführlichen Bericht zu den einzelnen Punkten der E-Mails und zu dem Interview in Kürze per Video auf diesem Kanal und schriftlicher Bericht auf www.bitcoin-freunde.de. Nur zur Information und jetzt aber zum Interview. Und danach sehen wir uns wieder. Bis gleich.
Okay, so hi everyone. Thanks so much, Steve, for taking the time for this very much needed interview on Yieldnodes and the current state of play with Yieldnodes investors. It's been about 18 hours since the email went out yesterday to all invested parties into Yieldnodes. Could you just give us a little idea of essentially what on earth has happened over the last couple of days to get us to where we're at now? If you could explain that, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear what's happened and why it's happened.
Okay, so as you know, I got a call from Urs the morning before today, and essentially all the coins that we are masternoding and staking have lost a lot of value. Like over the past 1.5 months, the market has shifted considerably, and the system that we work, like, generating coins, staking coins and selling them into the market is not working anymore, in a sense that no one is buying any coins like at all. The market has completely depleted. When before there was, you can see that in the more than on the price, which is obviously also down in the seller. You can see that also in the liquidity of the coins, which even Sapphire, which had a couple of millions transactions daily, went to almost nothingness. And if we had continued like this and kept paying out, collecting more money, we would have turned into a Ponzi scheme. This would have been like starting to pay people from money that we collect, and we just could not do that. This would be like ethically not doable, and also not a good business practice, because we would have kept going for a couple of months, and in the end just had no money to pay everyone, and this would have been the absolute most horrific scenario that you could imagine. We would have done a Hail Mary and hoped for the market to recover, and if the market didn't recover, it would have been over. And we do not want to gamble with members' assets, because this is not the way that we want to do business here at Yieldnodes. So we needed to devise an emergency plan quickly and transition to the Yieldnodes Pro much quicker than we anticipated. As you know, Yieldnodes Pro was already mentioned before. I believe you know better than I. When?
Yeah, well, obviously it was mentioned briefly at the audit that I attended, but one of the community members in the Facebook forum, Josh, he attended a audit for Yieldnodes back in 2021. I don't think you were there at that audit, Steve. I think it was your wife's birthday, and it was more hassle for you to come to Malta rather than celebrate your wife's birthday. So I don't think you were there. But Yieldnodes Pro was touched on way back in 2021. So from someone that deals with a lot of Yieldnodes investors in terms of communication in the forum and stuff, a lot of people have been taken by surprise with Yieldnodes Pro, because they've never heard of it before, but it has been something that has been a long-term vision for Yieldnodes, if I'm thinking correctly. It's not just been something that's been made up in the last 24 hours, is it?
Yeah, exactly. And we had a few options going forward. Essentially, one would have been going Ponzi scheme, which we do not want to do, and which is not the right way to do it. And the order that we already had in plan for a long time was to, instead of relying on people buying the coins from a gambling purpose, just quick buy, sell. And right now, with the current market conditions where everyone is just selling everything to brace for a very harsh winter, inflation, war, what happened, crazy things whatever crazy things are happening in the real world. We wanted to go the other route. And what we are doing now, instead of, telling, look, guys, it's over, we have about 10% of capital left, and pay people 10% or even less out, we want to make things right. And we want to do so that in the end, everyone has still his balance, plus appreciation on the assets, and we go into a completely different bet. And this is pegging the values to real world assets. So what we are doing is we are going to bring in assets from outside Yieldnodes. And it's very important to clarify that these assets have not been bought with Yieldnodes money. This is another friend and investor coming on board with all the assets. And he's giving us them in the range of, like, you can verify that by an independent contractor, that these are worth about 300 million to cover the liabilities that we have. So we're going a different route, and we're bringing those in on our own accord. And what we're going to do is we will make NFTs out of the shares that people have in Yieldnodes and attach them to this. And this is also important to clarify. These are not NFTs like a dancing chimpanzee or monkeys, or this.
I think a lot of people in the forums and online are naturally very concerned over, right, they've put X amount of money into Yieldnodes, and then at the end of it, in a year's time, they're going to get a JPEG of
absolutely not
a mouse or something like that.
Gamblers like this. These NFTs will have real value in the form of the shares of your Yieldnodes account. Meaning, if you have a big Yieldnodes account, you have a higher valued NFT. If you have a smaller account, a less. If you're longer with yield nodes, it will have a higher value. If you're shorter with yield nodes, and this will be dynamically shifting and resemble that amount that you have. And these NFTs will be also backed then towards real assets that we bring into the mix that are coming from outside and have a real stable value, which is very important. So all the master noding and staking underneath of the coins in yield nodes will be tied to that. So we will still keep staking and master noding, but these coins will appreciate because they have a natural factor of value through the NFT with whom you can buy, say, with whom you are eligible for a solar panel, for a share in a music licensing business, like where you can license titles, which these assets generate money in the real world. So they are appreciating constantly. So you will become owner, and it will be very easy. We are going to make the needed documentation, of course, that it will be very easy for you to understand how you can use these assets to trade against other assets, to sell them on OpenSea, on marketplaces, generate good money. There will be commissions in between those sales, and the commissions will generate high value. You have seen this with kind of senseless NFTs, like, you know, the Bored Apes or the CryptoPunks that generate insane value to frequently exchanging hands. And this will also appreciate and generate a lot of money. The point here is that we are going to do this. We are working now to make this change, this transition over the next year. We are trying to be faster, but we reserve a year because we do not want to let people down by thinking, you know, promising a shorter time frame and then it's not happening, and then they get upset, more upset than they already are, as you can imagine, given the circumstances.
So, in terms of it taking a proposed year-long schedule,
exactly.
Between now and then, obviously, because people have got people have pending withdrawals from that they requested in September. Obviously, some people got those paid out on the 8th of September, and then there's other people that have obviously, where you sent that email out a couple of days ago saying, you know, this is what's happened with Binance. We need to restructure the payout schedule between the 7th and the 11th. There's obviously still people waiting for
exactly. This was before I got that dreaded phone call that made us all fall out of the clouds, because it came as a surprise that we needed to do it so fast. This is why I'm still.
So what's happening with pending withdrawals, and obviously over let's say, for devil's advocate, it takes a full year to implement this new vision that you and the team have. What's going to happen with withdrawals and deposits in and out of Yieldnodes over that time?
For now, we need to pause them. This is the only way going forward. They need to be paused for an indefinite amount of time until we get the new system up and running, until everything is there. So what we will do, what we are thinking of, is maybe, you know, opening up then the emergency withdrawals again and opening up the deposit function, because we have a few big investors lined up who already saw the NFT masternoding staking combo concept, like the hybrid, and they are very, very interested. We did some travels to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and they are going to go on board. And then fully functional probably after a year, like plus minus. Maybe earlier, but I do not want to make a promise that I cannot keep. So we are trying our hardest to be as fast as possible, of course.
Okay, so just to clarify then, so from now, or from yesterday, there are going to be no withdrawals whatsoever for until Yieldnodes Pro is online.
Yes,
and functional.
Unfortunately, and it's not that we do not want people to have that money. You know, it's not like that. We need to have a little bit of the reserves left to get everything on track, because the assets, we cannot sell the assets that are coming out. Even if this is like our money coming in, we cannot sell that just to fulfill the obligations that we need to fulfill at the later stage, because this will be the assets that generate then the revenue. Because truth be told, the market is so horrible that if we had to pay now out everyone, like 10% would be probably the maximum that we could attain from the money that we have. And this would also need, you know, Binance is locked, Changely is locked. We have considerable assets there that are being locked up, and we still need to get them free. They were promised to be free before because they cannot hold money from clients, but apparently they can because they're Binance and Changely. And so this is the route forward,
Could you just explain, Steve, why I know a lot of people about that whole blocked withdrawals and stuff like that, why Yieldnodes were using an exchange like Binance and stuff like that when you've got a staking in exchanges like Barack and Heliobank, stuff like that.
It was for liquidity issues because we needed to push the volumes up, and only the big exchanges had the needed volume. Birac would have never had, it's still a small exchange, would never had enough volume, to buy these amounts of BTC. This is the reason we needed to lean on these exterior websites, which with the new system we don't, which is also good. We do not lean on them anymore. They're not needed. Okay. Because since the value is tight, we will not need to prop up any coins, because a point of failure was the gambling attitude of people and now the desperation of people that are selling everything and not buying anything anymore. And this is at the current rate. Had we kept going as we did, we would have needed to use Bitcoin to propel up coins, sell the coin value, and try to make a profit out of that. But that doesn't work if everyone is selling in every coin that we masternode. Before there was healthy ecosystems, some coins were going up, some coins were going down. We could adjust the limits, and now everything is flat at the moment. But this is also only just at the moment, because these coins will appreciate really fast as soon as they are tied to real assets, real world assets. And so the masternoding and staking will make sense again and will bring again the profits. The point here is that while we transition to this, it doesn't mean that we are not paying any profits. Like, we will pay 5% quarterly, so that while you wait until the new system is installed, we are under pressure to deliver this quickly, or as quickly as possible, because we also want to see this through. We are also essentially, right now, we're working for free because we cannot make any money or earn any commissions when we're not paying out anything. So this is also hurting us in a sense. But we need to see this through until everything is completed, and then we will open up the withdrawals and the deposits again. And also, since you know that, or since I assume that it can be seen that the marketing was going very well, we were collecting more and more money every month, that we are applying this marketing strategy also then to the new concept. There will be a good and healthy economy flowing again, not depending on this gambling attitude or downsells and offsells.
I was going to say, because obviously this has all happened very, very quickly.
Yes, myself, you can say that. You can really say
that. It has, because obviously I was out in Malta a couple of 2-3 months ago with a team of other investors where we got invited.
Which is important for us. You saw that we were 130% over collateralized. Right? You saw the money and you saw the.
That's what I was getting onto. Obviously, during the audit, we saw that there was a 30% on top of total invested funds. So you were over collateralized. But what I will say is there was a lot of those funds that were held in Sapphire, which is like Yieldnodes it's your baby, isn't it? It's Yieldnodes' main coin. And at that point, I think the value of Sapphire was maybe 79-80 cents per
and it rose afterwards. It rose afterwards to almost 90 cents.
Yeah.
We were in a very good position. But the problem here was also not the value of the coin, but that the liquidity soon dried up. In order to monetize the Sapphire into Bitcoin, you need to have high liquidity. You need to have people interested in buying it at the price that it's worth. And since we had a couple of millions of volume every day, we could do that easily. We didn't also want to put too much in Bitcoin because Bitcoin was depreciating very heavily all the time. And we wanted to keep Sapphire steady as our main currency. This was very important. But the business model that we had, that U.S. was always relying on, even during the downturn of the Bitcoin, and which was working as long as there was any buying interest, was that we were using this to balance it out. We had liquidity and we could balance out making the trades. Later on, it was essentially just buying with the Bitcoin, exchanging the Bitcoin to Sapphire, masternoding, generating more Sapphire, but no market to sell it off to. This is just now simplified because we had a lot of currencies and we masternode a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And this is what broke our backs, so to speak, much earlier than anticipated. This is why we needed to go to Yieldnodes Pro much, much quicker to preserve everyone's funds. In a sense that in the market here, like potentially what the situation is like a plus minus 10%. And we do not want, we could have, like there were two scenarios, we could have paid out everyone 10%, remove the people that were in profit and, fulfill the obligations like this, say this is what the market gives, put our hands down and say, here we go, this is the books, open the books, show the numbers transparently and say this is what it is. Like any other company in these times, everything has failed. Good luck, guys. And we just did not want to do that. We do not want to leave anyone in a loss. This is our highest thing. This is why we decided to bring out all the assets that are not Yieldnodes, that we own, that other partners own, that we're bringing into the mix to prop up the value. So we're coming with outside stuff in to fulfill our obligations and to tie those in. This is our saving plan, so to speak. And it would be a big disservice to just pay out 10%, and let everyone go. We could have done it, but we don't want to do that. Same was the other way, collect more money and hope for the best, which is, first of all, illegal because it's a Ponzi scheme, and second, unethical. So also didn't want to do that.
I think it does come down to morals at the end of the day.
What it is we are essentially, you have us in your corner. This is what a lot of people don't understand when they're writing me hate mail and angry mails and they're confused and sad, which at the current state, I understand. I was reeling myself, I was really, really down. I'm still down, I believe. That's no surprise given the circumstances. But this is the way where we can save everyone's money. This is a way where we can, by the end of the year, really have the full value reinstated. And during this year, it's also that we pay 5% every quarter. So you can ideally...
I'll just stop you there, Steve. So in terms of this 5% quarterly, a lot of people, obviously with Yieldnodes, we've always had that in place of the 5%. If you generate a yield below 5% for 3 consecutive months, then your funds will be released and made eligible to withdraw. Am I correct in thinking that that's now no longer part of it, and it's going to be 5% every 3 months?
It's 5% quarterly. We still fulfill that obligation because if you are making 2 months nothing, then 5%, then 1 month nothing, you're still coming into that eligibility. But But it's not because of that. It's just because we want to give people to put not only pressure on us to move as fast as possible, because these liabilities, they're gonna grow and they compound. So we need to act fast, to generate the money then when it's becoming eligible. And also because it makes sense that people that are sitting with us and going through this with us, they should be rewarded and they should have a gain out of this and not just wait for their funds to unlock. So what we are doing is we are working for free. We are not taking any money until the new system is made. Of course, like as I mentioned, I believe in our first video take that unfortunately had no video. We did this before, guys. Yeah, no worries about it.
I messed up the audio.
No, the audio was fine. Just the video, I believe, that was.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But water under the bridge. Here we are. Anyway, where was I with the points?
I don't know.
I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I'm a little bit besides me, as you can imagine.
Yeah, we were talking about people still earning 5% every 3 months.
Exactly. We want them to still earn returns, and while the new system is implemented, and there's no plan B for us. This is everything. We put everything that we have into this. Right. We are not going to show the signed agreement and say this is it. We want to see this through together with the community and everyone. We're all in the same boat. I know you have considerable funds. You're locked as well. My wife is locked as well. The friends of the wife, which are quite a complicated thing, they're coming and saying, can you release our funds? And, we cannot do that because this would be highly unethical and this doesn't work like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need right now to be in this preservation mode. And as soon as we don't need to be in it anymore, we will open up the gates again and make everything go as it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So, because we want to be the company still. We want to be a company that is here after all these shenanigans. When you look around, and any other noding company or anyone who is doing with master noding and staking, they are either bankrupt or they have vanished. There's no company I'm aware that is here, ironically, that celebrated this month the 3rd year of operation, which is also very,
Well, I think this is really important to reiterate, Steve. Yieldnodes hasn't gone anywhere.
No.
Correct? It's a lot of people are thinking that their money has vanished into thin air or it's been stolen, or it's this is
no hack happened, no leak was there. This was also one of the ways that a scammer could have seeked a way out. We could have said Sapphire had a loophole in the programming and the coins were all lost or overproduced or whatever, but there's no one is to blame outside of this except marketing condition and maybe carrying on too long. We should have switched the model even sooner, but we just couldn't know. No one can know. I cannot even go and blame us for this. I was, of course, annoyed at first. I was scared. I was sad. I was all going through all kinds of emotions when I heard that. But this is a needed step to preserve the capital. I said this before, and I want to say it again. We do not want to leave anyone in a hole. Anyone. It doesn't matter. We get so many heartbreaking messages like, I have a baby on the way, cancer has hit me, my wedding is off because I cannot pay. And we warn people. I also want to make this clear that we kept in every video that I do, I warn for the risks that is highly risky and everything. Yet people, being people, overextended themselves a lot, I fear, which is also why we are getting now this insane amount of hate mail and confusion and messages that are, some are heartbreaking, some are threatening, some are just, panic, some are just panicky because they think their funds are gone. But what we need is just patience. We really need patience to get everything in place because, as said, we are bringing in this value from outside that is almost covering everything in pure value. So we have more than a fighting chance here. We have something that can work, that is also proven in other projects to work quite nicely. There's one that comes to mention is like hydro whales, which is from another guy, a friend of mine, Sam, who does these miners that are tied to NFTs that are generating income, and the coin and they consistently appreciate even in this bear market, and they will appreciate much more in a bull market. So we have a blueprint there. Ours is much more technical and difficult to implement because our NFTs will be changing. They're essentially highly complex smart contracts that will be easy to transfer, but in itself work in a very complicated manner. And this can be, I'm very confident about it, that this will be a saving grace here. Even though it costs us privately, we do not mind that because we want to see this through with the community. So this is why we are still here, why we will not go anywhere. This is very important. No one needs to hear that we are going anywhere or quit doing this. We are just sitting, reorganizing ourselves and make everything work again.
I think it's very important to remind people as well that Yieldnodes it's not just you, it's not just us, it's not just Jaeger and Dima. There's a whole bunch of staff behind Yieldnodes and Disenemy that work their backsides off a hell of a lot. And I've personally developed quite a few friendships with Disenemy staff because I met them at the audit, and I've kept in touch with people, and they're all still at work this morning, Steve.
Of course,
they're all still.
Everyone, no one is leaving there.
They're all still at work.
They're all working, all there. And we keep doing that, we keep doing until we see this through together. And what's important to mention is we understand that the emotions are cooking up and everything is in a bad place. But sending treacherous mails, especially to staff, if you want to send, if you need to, send them to me, but just leave family, children, and workers that are just doing their jobs out of it, please, because it's not worth, to insult people that really are not responsible for this. So I would just ask for some leniency in the future emailing. Also, ask for some time for us to reply, because we get flooded. Mostly, this is on us because there has been way too little information. But again, it's only 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So we are trying to get the information out as quickly as possible. And that's why I'm sitting here. Yeah. And yeah, a little bit of leniency to calm down and to see that we are not going anywhere and that we are working this out, even if it costs us. It's the only plan we have. And like I said to us, we are tied together for life. We cannot, we are now bound in this. I cannot leave as a marketing manager. Here's the coin, needs me, so that the marketing then is being pushed again. So we all need each other, and we grew as a family. We are together in this. Also, you became essentially a family member, albeit an unpaid one, of course.
Yes, people forget that.
People forget that you are not on the payroll.
I do not get paid by Yieldnodes to run
the most valuable freelancer we have, so to speak. Unpaid freelancer.
Great.
Which is, it's because we don't want to mix the ethics. It's also one of the reasons. Because if you were on the payroll, it would be...
I don't do it for the money.
You would deserve it. You certainly would deserve it, man. For everything you do. We are also very grateful that you are the spokesperson.
That's fine, but just to clarify in the interview, I am not paid and I'm not a member of Yieldnodes staff or Descenomy staff, so we're not even going to go down that route at all. Right, okay, so we've clarified kind of what's happened over the last sort of 36 hours, Steve. Withdrawals are now offline for the foreseeable future. Pending withdrawals are, well, they're not pending, they're not going to come through.
Yeah. This is all in pause mode. You can go to the website. There's still the login. You can see your account. So you see the values are not being changed. This is frozen in time as it is. And as soon as we start again, it will unlock. What we are thinking of, as soon as the first tradable assets come online, even if we have not done all the regulation with the real assets yet, is that we open for emergency withdrawals for people that they can ask for emergency withdrawal, and we get the investors on board that are looking to buy up large chunks because they see the potential in this business model, so that maybe those can be, fulfilled to some degree. We do not know yet, but we are contemplating this inside the company. We do not want to hold anyone away from the funds, but at this moment, we just cannot. What remains, we cannot pay it out in good conscience, knowing that there's no one left. There's salaries, there's staff, there's operations, there's the NFT program. We need to have enough to build everything so that we can get you back into profit mode and not loss mode, not, less than what you have mode. We want everything to be as it was before, and we want to keep going. And we need for that this time. And unfortunately, these measures, this is really unfortunate. I agree. It's unfair. It's not good, but there's no other way. There's just no other way to do this.
It's also really, again, I want to bring back to the point that it's really important to realize that nothing's been lost, nothing's been stolen. It's literally Yieldnodes has pressed that big old pause button. That's it.
And we're bringing the assets in for the depreciation, for the depreciation that has happened on the assets, to fill them up with the new concept and then to get going again. This is very important to say.
Okay.
Also, when people this is also an important point that I wanted to mention, is that a few people are considering lawsuits, and if they want to take them, make them, or do them, this is in their rights. They can try to sue the company, but we signed this, everyone signed this agreement that the money could be lost. So they would be burning, most probably. I'm not a lawyer. They can burn a lot of money going through the motions. But what we certainly will not do is we will not reward that behavior by unlocking their accounts and bringing our assets in to reward that kind of behavior. Because even if you don't condone it, or even if you're frustrated, you need to be with us on this. We need to work together to get this ship back sailing, This is just how it's going to work, because we cannot bring in our assets for someone to come and say, okay, we want from these assets here, give it to us, thank you, and bye-bye. This is just not how it works. That's why the assets are right now contracted from outside the company, and as soon as we open again, they will move into the company, and then everything will be unified and going again.
Yeah, I think it is important. It's the last 24 hours have been a shitstorm, would be the word to use, and it's
I'm spent. I'm really spent.
Yeah, so am I, my friend. So am I. It's been a whirlwind on Facebook as well, and the amount of messages. But it is important to remember that it is a heightened emotional state of a lot of people at the moment. People have
been scammed countless times. Like, all the time. Me too. Everyone is being scammed by companies who make up. Like, if we were the corpo people, we would say, okay, here we are bankrupt. Here, this is what in the books. This is what remains. We have always moved according to the schedule and the commission basis. So everything is transparent and can be seen. So there is no wrongdoing in the company. And of this, we are very proud and certain. So if we were going this road, we would declare bankruptcy, pay the remaining 10% out, and everyone would go on and lead a happy life in the company and leave the participants on the street. And we do not want to do that. We claim to be different, and we want to be different. We really take great pride in what we do, and we want to keep doing that, and we want to save everyone, including ourselves, and including, as I said, the morals and being ethical about it. So we are really trying our best, and we need the community to stand behind us, or at least not work against us. Because if you work against us, it will just slow us down. Everything that is happening, or every cry, everything, why, where's my money? I want my money now. I don't care what other people do. My money is my money. With this attitude, we can just not work. This just doesn't go, unfortunately. I understand it, but
it's a bit.
I tell that my wife also, by the way. So
yeah, well, it's a bitter pill
to swallow.
Pill to swallow.
It's also for us. Like, I have roughly, because I was always like collecting from my commission Sapphire, I have roughly 8 million Sapphire on the site. 8 million Sapphire was a lot of money. 8 million Sapphire was also a lot of money worth before the announcements, before the market crashed. I could have sold it into the market anytime, but I didn't. I'm sitting on them, and I keep them, and I would never unload them on the community. This can be also verified. If you want, I can send you a link so people see that nothing has been moved. This goes also for a lot of our workers that are paid in Sapphire. For instance, Pedro, our programmer, he's taking only Sapphire as payment.
I think you're obviously going to send a link out, email with this video. If you could verify that Sapphire for us, that'd be great. In either a link or a screenshot or something like that to show that. Sure. That'd be awesome, mate. Just so I can
also that we are not offloading on the community for personal gains. Not at all. Like, we know that Sapphire is going to appreciate later. We know that being part of the system and being part of the coins and the full blockchains that we build, we have a lot of value there as well, in a sense that we own 20 different blockchains. We own traffic websites. We own an exchange. We have partnerships with exchanges. There's a lot of money in it there as well. And when the market swings upwards, all these assets that are in the company, they're also part of what the members own, and what part of, maybe some of the NFTs will then make you co-owner of one of the exchanges or the traffic sites on their revenue. This is also, we are focusing on offline assets, but maybe this is also something that us will consider at some point, that we tokenize essentially everything, and everyone can profit from anything in the future. But this is just like tentatively, and I don't want to say a wrong thing, because we focus on real assets and not web property, but still, I want to throw it out there.
Talking of us, in the email that got sent out yesterday from him, he did say that we could expect a further update from him soon. Do you know when? He's working on the
paper, because everything needs to be verified and triple checked so that we are starting on the right foot and it's not, a wrong setup. So I hope very soon. In any case, we can have another call in 2 weeks, if you like.
Yeah.
So I update you the proceedings, what's going on, also the community. I want to keep a tight and close relationship, because emails can be misread, but messages directly talking, that can be gotten a lot more out of a conversation like this, I believe. Yeah, so we should keep doing that, and we see.
Yeah, we can certainly schedule something in a couple of weeks, and hopefully by then I'll have a baby in my hands at some point.
I cross my fingers for you, man.
If it ever decides it wants to come out.
If it wants to come out, I'm really glad for you on that.
Yeah.
I hope we get through this phase quicker than much sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope the people stay behind us, or at least don't work against us, and we will be fine. We will get on.
Yeah, I think from a personal point of view, you're on camera less than 24 hours after an email like that. You're not running away, you're not hiding, you're not burying your head in the sand.
Definitely not. I had the thought, but I fight it.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
No,
yeah.
It's. What can I tell you, man? It's just been grueling when you're here and see so much people phoning you all the time and being super scared, and you have we got please some leniency here. Give us the time to send the updates out. We cannot answer to every message right now. We have like thousands of emails, 800 something WhatsApps are open. I cannot, because it will keep me from doing the work and doing everything here by trying to explain everything individually. As soon as the smoke has cleared, we will become more available again at a later date, also for the email people. And
yeah. Okay then, Steve. Well, let's...
A little bit of patience, please, guys. We are trying our hardest. We work to the bone, and we are going to set things right.
Okay. All right, Steve. Well, we'll call it a day for now. I think that's clarified as much as we can do today. What I'll do is I'll publish this video up on YouTube and in the Facebook forum. And what I'll do is I'll compile a set of sensible questions for maybe a couple of weeks' time, 2 weeks' time, and we'll schedule something in around that. Obviously, baby dependent, because my life is about to get even busier than it is right now.
I understand.
But as soon as that's around, we'll schedule something for around 2 weeks' time, if that would be okay with you. So we can either get a further update from you, and we can put some more questions to you that are undoubtedly going to arise.
I will also have more information on the intricacies on how the NFTs are going to operate, because what was important to me to clarify is that it's not a collection of pictures that may or may not, and most likely will not be worth anything in the future, but real assets that you own then, and that you can trade. We have guides. We will explain it in the simplest way possible. You can hold it. You will earn appreciation. You can sell it at market price. You can even make some gains if you're a good seller, or you can sell it at discount, so someone else will benefit it. The commissions will be attributed to the Yieldnodes and everything. So it's going to be very, very another arm of earnings, and it's going to be very, very nice.
Good.
Thank you for your time, Liam. Thank you for giving this a second try as well. I know.
Yes. Well, I'll remember to turn the camera on next time. That might be a good way. But yes. Okay, Steve.
I don't know.
Thank you ever so much.
Did this come out better or the other one?
I think so. I think take two's come out a lot more professional.
The first was a little bit more whiny or more emotional, I believe.
I think so. Well, with good reason. With good reason. Anyway, right. We'll catch up with you again in a couple of weeks, Steve. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
So, da bin ich wieder. Ja, schönes Video, ne? Ja, ich will jetzt gar nicht unbedingt auf die einzelnen Punkte eingehen. Nur mal so, ja, Kontensperrung bei Binance. Also wer gestern die E-Mail gelesen hat, die erste E-Mail, da hat der Stefan ein kurzes Video gemacht von dem Binance-Konto. Da sind 306 Bitcoin drauf. Das sind ja schon ein paar Millionen. Also, und wenn Binance mal eben so ein Konto sperrt, ja, ich glaube, dann würde ich auch ein bisschen unruhig werden. Also ich habe es ja selber schon erlebt. Ich hab Probleme mit Bitfinex mal gehabt, letztes Jahr. Aber gut, das nur nebenbei. So. Und er sagt ja auch, die Märkte sind unter anderem das Problem. Der sagt ja auch Krise hier, Krise da und so, Inflation. Logischerweise, ich habe ja schon viele Nachrichten gelesen, die Leute cashen ihre Kryptobestände aus, weil Heizkosten, der ist ja nicht nur bei uns so, mit der Klimakrise. Die Inflation, wir in Deutschland sind mit gefühlten 10% ja noch gut dran. Also überall in Europa haben wir über 20 oder in vielen europäischen Ländern oder international haben wir riesige Inflationsraten. Und überall liest man, du musst dann täglich nur die Nachrichten lesen, die Leute die verkaufen ihre Aktien, die verkaufen ihre Tagesgelder, also lösen ihre Tagesgeldkonten auf, verkaufen Krypto, um ihre Kosten zu bezahlen. So, das bedeutet, dem Markt wird Liquidität entzogen. Und wenn keine Liquidität da ist, um zum Beispiel den Sapphire Coin kaufen zu können, dann wird der Stefan Hörmann seine Coins nicht los und auch die anderen Coins nicht. Wo soll denn die Kohle herkommen? Ja, also Yieldnodes ist, ich sage jetzt mal, ich will jetzt keine Lanze für Yieldnodes brechen, aber die haben genau die gleichen wirtschaftlichen Probleme wie jedes andere Unternehmen auch. Ja, die ich vorhin angesprochen habe. Oder ich persönlich, mir brechen die Umsätze weg. Die Leute verlieren ihre Jobs da draußen. Fachkräftemangel, keine Ahnung, was da draußen los ist. Und nochmal, warum soll Yieldnodes jetzt ausgerechnet das Unternehmen sein? Ja, also selbst, ich bin ja auch in Aktien investiert. Ich habe viele Dividendentitel in meinem Portfolio. Ja, auch da gehen die Kurse runter. Und Dividenden werden wahrscheinlich gekürzt. Ja, keine Ahnung, das ist halt so. So, also wie gesagt, ich selber versuche gerade aktiv an Stefan Hörmann, den CEO, ranzugehen, um weitere Informationen zu bekommen. Habe ihm auch schon geschrieben, also ich bin auch gerne bereit, mal nach Malta zu kommen, kurzfristig, um vielleicht mal mit denen zu sprechen. Aber was soll's? Ich glaube, die haben momentan andere Probleme. Die müssen ihr Ding da irgendwie durchziehen. Yieldnodes auf Yieldnodes Pro habe ich jetzt allerdings auch zum ersten Mal gehört. Also Yieldnodes soll ja sowieso in die Descenomy World überführt werden, aber das wissen wir ja auch schon seit einigen Monaten. Und letztes Jahr hatte ja auch schon Stefan Hörmann, auch im Interview mit mir, schon prognostiziert, die Renditen werden irgendwann runtergehen. Ja, das ist es halt so. So, er sagt selber, auch in der E-Mail gestern und auch, glaube ich, in einem Interview, wenn ich das gerade gehört habe, die 5% Mindestrendite pro Monat sind ja garantiert. Okay, die können jetzt gerade nicht auszahlen, weil die Probleme mit der Kontensperrung bei Binance haben. Ja, okay. Glaube ich, sind wir nicht die Einzigen. Was wollte ich noch sagen? Kontensperrung. Achso, ja, wie gesagt, die müssen jetzt alles überführen in die Descenomy World. Das ist ja auch schon seit Monaten bekannt. Die Renditen sinken. Das hat er letztes Jahr schon prognostiziert. Also, die haben halt momentan Probleme. Aber welches Unternehmen hat gerade keine Probleme? Egal ob Krypto oder reale, also echte Wirtschaft, die mit Krypto nichts zu tun haben. Also ich bin nach wie vor guter Dinge. Ich habe Yieldnodes sehr, sehr viel zu verdanken. Ich habe dem Stefan Hörmann viel zu verdanken. Ich habe eine sehr vertrauensvolle Zusammenarbeit mit ihm gehabt. Und die werde ich jetzt garantiert nicht über Bord schmeißen, weil die gerade wirtschaftliche Probleme haben. Kann ich mich irren? Das ist die Gretchenfrage. Ja, also man hat schon Pferde kotzen gesehen. Das kann natürlich sein, dass die uns nur was vormachen und plötzlich mit der Kohle weg sind. Dann habe ich ein Problem, weil ich bin fast sechsstellig da drin. Oder hoch fünfstellig, sagen wir mal so. Aber ich glaube da nicht dran. Also ich glaube, die haben wirklich wirtschaftliche Probleme. Ich habe ja die realen Assets, ich habe ja Unternehmen aus der Descenomy, ich kann dieses scheiß Wort nicht aussprechen, Descenomy World nachrecherchiert. Die sind ja real, die gibt's ja. Also glaube ich wirklich dran, dass Yieldnodes echt nur wie viele andere Unternehmen, Europa, Deutschland, weltweit, einfach nur wirtschaftliche Probleme haben aufgrund der aktuellen Situation. Und dann müssen wir halt mal da durch. Dann müssen wir halt mal Zähne zusammenbeißen und mal 2-3 Monate nichts auscashen. Ja, ist doof, ich weiß, Weihnachten steht vor der Tür. Aber egal, hilft ja nichts. Also, wie gesagt, meine persönliche Meinung, Yieldnodes geht weiter. Diese ganze NFT-Geschichte, ja, scheiße NFT, ich könnte kotzen. Ja, muss man sich halt mit beschäftigen. Aber wie gesagt, das sind halt, die Welt verändert sich. Warum? Die Welt verändert sich um uns herum. Warum? Die Weltmächte verschieben sich. Keine Ahnung. Neulich habe ich einen Bericht gesehen, China will 2049 die größte Macht sein auf der Welt. Ja, kann alles passieren. Wird wahrscheinlich auch passieren. Die Welt verändert sich nun mal. Warum soll sich Yieldnodes nicht verändern? In diesem Sinne, ich bleibe positiv bei Yieldnodes. Wenn ich Pech habe, bin ich halt der Arsch. Ja. Aber wie gesagt, erstmal bleibe ich positiv. Also macht es gut. alexbitcoinfreunde.de. Wenn ihr Fragen habt, also ganz kurz, wenn ihr Fragen habt, die euch beschäftigen, zu Yieldnodes etc., schreibt mir die alle in die Kommentare rein. Ich weiß, der Stefan Hörmann hat momentan echt arschvolle Arbeit, aber ich versuche trotzdem, den irgendwie an den Schlawickel zu kriegen und irgendwie Fragen zu klären, und zwar gesammelt und nicht in 20.000 E-Mails. Also, wenn ihr Fragen habt, haut mir die in die Kommentare rein. Ich sammle die. Ich versuche das. Ich gehe definitiv auf Stefan Hörmann durch. Ich habe ihn schon angefragt für ein kurzfristiges Interview, habe noch keine Rückmeldung. Ja, also wie gesagt, ich bleibe positiv. alexbitcoinfreunde.de. Wenn euch mein Intro, mein Nachgang alles gefallen hat, gebt mir ein Like, abonniert den Kanal. Es gibt neue Infos demnächst. Bis dann. Schönen Tag noch. Tschüss.